Hey everybody, I want to bring up to speed on this um, manhunt uh, for the shooter in Maine. I think guests are still looking for him, but you just have to listen to this and I'll talk a little bit more about it.
After horrific shootings at two businesses left up to 20 people dead, according to law enforcement sources, who say there may be up to 50 people injured. Police searching for a person of interest, 40-year-old Robert Card, saying he's armed and dangerous.
If people see him, they should not approach Carr or make contact with him in any way.
Local police also releasing these photos of a suspect holding an assault rifle and this white SUV that authorities say was found nearby in the town of Lisbon. On Wednesday night, local officials say the gunman attacked two locations about 4 miles apart: Schmiggy's Bar and Grill and Spare Time Recreation, a bowling alley which was full of young people.
And tonight was youth night, so the place was just crawling with teenagers. So we suspect and fear that many of the victims there are going to be young teens.
A police intelligence bulletin revealing more information about the person of interest, saying Parker was trained as a firearms instructor and believed to be in the Army Reserve. That release also says he recently reported mental health issues, including hearing voices and threats to shoot up the National Guard base in Maine. As the community waits and grieves, Leroy Walker says he hasn't heard from his son, who is at work as a manager at Schmiggy's.
My son is dead, and I know he's dead. I know it as well as I know. I'm standing here telling you because he's not here and he's not at any other hospital.
Anxious residents waiting outside the local hospital, hoping to hear any updates about loved ones.
As one can imagine, it's your worst nightmare.
We're also learning from a law enforcement bulletin that the person of interest checked into a mental health facility in the summer for about 2 weeks. Meantime, here on the ground, utter shock. Keep in mind, Maine is a state with little serious crime. Just 29 homicides for the entire state all of last year. We've learned from the White House President Biden has been briefed on the incident as we await another news conference later today.
Emily, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Okay, now I say what I understand about this guy. He was went to a mental hospital for 2 weeks because hearing voices and stuff. First of all, if he was in the armed forces, that could be understandable. But the thing is, what I understand is he had some sort of hearing aids. I don't know if you remember those hearing aids where you could be sitting way out of range of somebody talking and you can hear what they're saying. Now, if that's possible, that could be what he was hearing. Other people talking, and he thought that, I don't know really. But, of course, they want to bring more of the 2A back to light. You know how that goes. But I want to show you something. By what I understand of this guy, dude here, is his sister-in-law and them, his family knew he was doing that. Hearing voices and stuff. It's not what's in your hand, it's what's in your brain. There were signals that this man needed help. And the idea of taking and messing with the 2A is not the thing. You're not going to stop this type of violence with doing that. You need more mental health workers, which they're short-handed, to be able to deal with people that are having mental breakdowns because of what's going on in all around the world, and especially in this country. And with certain people bringing out on a table constantly that certain people were right-wing extremists. They were calling them Klan and white supremacists and all those good names that everybody was freaking yelling and screaming about certain people, which is not a good dang thing, which is hatred. And when you bring out hatred, it starts messing with your head. But I'll read a little bit of that. There is something that's really something that people should really understand is people with schizophrenia, most of them do not think there's nothing wrong with it. If they take medication for a while and it stops or whatever, they think they're cured. So they think you're cured, they don't want to take their medicine. He should have been from that hospital, being in there 2 weeks. He should have been made sure to be taking medications. Now, a lot of people don't like medications, but it sure does help. Or given a inoculation of a certain medication to stop that. If his family knew about that, I mean, and if he doesn't want to go in for help, get a court order. But here's some of the things about schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a brain syndrome that misrepresents the way an individual reflects, acts, articulates sentiments, relates to others, and recognizes actually 1% of the population, which comprises of 2.2 million. Americans will develop schizophrenia at some point in their lives. Approximately 10% of people who are diagnosed with schizophrenia are likely to commit suicide and are more probable to resort to alcohol and drugs as a means of escape. Although the source for schizophrenia is not known, the mental disorder can be developed through a number of issues that include inheritances, brain interaction, brain irregularity, and ecological factors. The mental illness is likely to affect people from their teen years the to early 20s. See, he more than likely started doing that. Like I said, it contributes tremendously to how a teenager grows up because some drop out of school as a result of not being able to cope academically and feel overwhelmed when surrounded by many people. Another thing that causes stuff like this is stress, a lot of stress, obsessions, which you hear a lot about in certain medias. They're obsessed with everything, but brainwashing and all that stuff. That's what happens. Here is a number of the most common schizophrenia symptoms. delusions. Misinterpretations are common in people who are diagnosed with schizophrenia. Delusions normally mean when a person believes in an idea that is not realistic, but says adamant that the illusion is real. It is almost impossible to make the affected see the reality of the notion because it is already made up in their minds that that idea is factual. There are a number of aberrations, schizophrenia, and these include a delusion of persecution. This is when the affected think that people are out to get them or have a personal vendetta against them. Delusions of reference. A person who has schizophrenia might think a person who is singing a song, acting in a movie, or is on a billboard chart is sending a message specifically to them. Delusions of grandeur. This one, the diagnosed think they are somebody well known and significant. Furthermore, they often think they have supernatural powers to do things that other people can't do. And I think everything that's been said over the past, well, since this administration got in there, and even before that, with a certain party in the big house, um, that's what happens. People lose it. You just can't go on and do this stuff. Let's see what this one is. That one I already did. Okay, this is that um, protesters on Capitol Hill call for Gaza ceasefire.
News on the Capitol. A Jewish group holding a protest inside the office building there where Jay O'Brien is, just outside the Capitol. Jay, what's going on behind it?
Yeah, guys, the U.S. Capitol is a big complex, so where we're standing is an office building just off of the Capitol. It's where members of Congress have their offices, and this is where the press sets up their cameras. And this is what came just about a half hour ago, a little bit less. You can see demonstrators, actually, Greg, at the tip of my finger there, starting to get...
Now, isn't that an insurrection? I would think so. But nobody cares about that. And they also still haven't protested. They're peacefully protesting in New York and everywhere else. Peaceful protests. Yeah, sure they are. Okay, now here's something that probably everybody's wondering. Who is Mike Johnson? He's a new speaker. I thought I knew who he was when I saw his picture, but I thought, well, I don't know these people, but I did know some of them. I knew Byron Donalds and him right here. He's been on the committee. So was Byron Donalds. The committees for all the stuff that's going on. Representative Mike Johnson is currently serving his fourth term representing 4th Congressional District of Louisiana. He served as the vice chairman of the House Republican Conference, is a leader on the Judiciary and Armed Services Committee, and serves as a deputy whip for House Republicans. This is the second term as vice chairman and has previously served as chairman of the Republican Study Committee, known as the Intellectual Arsenal, and the largest caucus of conservatives in Congress. Mike is a dedicated husband and father of 4, and a constitutional law attorney who has served or who has devoted his life and career to defending our fundamental freedoms and traditional values in the courts and the court of public opinion. And the other party does not like him at all. But yeah, I mean, he's not a big yeller, but he gets to the point. Like some of them are. Now, Gates, he ticked me off, but there are some of them like that I like. I like him, but I didn't know he was in there running. But yeah, he won all 220 votes from the Republicans. But the Donkey Party, Jackass Party, they don't like too much of what he has to say. But as far as Constitution, I think he's a good pick for it. What's happening with the rights and stuff. So that's all I got for you today. But yeah, I think that guy, Manhunt guy, I think that, and all these things lead up to the hatred that was piled on people at the beginning, and called names and well, look, the guy was in the service, and he doesn't vote for the D Party, yet he's being called this and that, a Nazi and stuff like that. Probably not to his face, but he's watching that stuff all the time, and he gets obsessed and stressed out, and that's going to cause a lot of problems. And they can't say that this is disinformation, because I know for a fact this stuff. So you don't need to freaking come back at me and say I don't know, because I do. But yeah. So that's who that is. I just thought everybody needed to know, and I wonder why these people that are protesting. There are people, Congress people, and stuff like that in the White House chairs, that are, they don't like the I. They like the P better, and they voice it. I mean, it's not unknown. They voice it and open their big mouth about it. If you feel that way about this country, where you have to go and take allegiance to your own country, and to heck with this country, then you need to get back to your country. You need to fight over in your own country and stay out of ours. Don't be waving your flags and all this stuff, because this is the United States of America. We don't put up with that garbage. I'm not. I'm in the middle. I don't go either way. But when it comes to bringing your stuff over here and doing all this stuff and beating each other up and this and that, if it were other people that I can name, we'd be thrown in prison. But anyway, with that said, I will let you go for now, and be careful in things you're doing out there, and just keep preparing as much as you can, because it's going to get ugly after you. So, with that said, um, God bless everybody. Um, I gotta wait for this thing again all the time. I have to wait for it. This drives me crazy. Okay, right there. Now we get done with this thing, and the problem, my eyeballs can't see this stupid. Right there. I say God bless. Take care of yourselves. Uh, Thanks for subscribing to my channel and supporting what I do. It doesn't matter how many people you got following you. It's how much they, like you. So, God bless and take care of yourselves in peace and love. Thank you.